Hey guys, we're back, and in this video we're going to take a closer look at the new Super Mario game that Nintendo is working on for the Nintendo Switch. Now, in the Switch teaser trailer, we saw about 5 seconds of new footage of Super Mario for that system, and it looked pretty good from what we could see. However, it was such a short clip that upon first inspection, when you first saw it, it could be easy to mistake it for basically Super Mario 3D World enhanced with better graphics and better shaders. Now, upon further inspection, it looks like Mario himself was improved upon over the original model that they used in Super Mario 3D World. It looks almost like the exact same model from Super Mario 3D World, however, there is some improvements to it. So we'll play a little bit of this and you see if you notice anything, and then we'll play it in slow motion. You see his footprints, you see little dust that comes off when he jumps, and you notice though that his hat kind of moves along with him as he jumps in the air. So there's some physics going on there with his hat, Mario's hat, and the physics when he jumps. And you see that it bobs a little bit and it moves on his head, but of course it doesn't come off his head, which is kind of funny, but of course Mario can't lose his hat, right? So you see his hat kind of float a little bit in the air when he jumps, and then in the castle scene when he does his long jump, again his hat kind of moves a little bit. You'll see it here, and he has a little bit of momentum with him. His hat jiggles when he lands, and when he stops and skids, you see his hat do a little pop, kind of pops up a little bit right there. And Mario himself looks improved as well. His shaders and the way he reflects and the way his body looks a little bit more solid than the cartoony look of Super Mario 3D World, which looked a bit more colorful, but Mario himself looked a little bit more cartoony, and he had light reflecting off him and everything, but he didn't look as solid as a character as he does in this Switch presentation. Let's take a look at a slow-mo comparison of how they jump in Super Mario 3D World and Super Mario Switch here. So you take a look, they both jump. Mario kind of animates a little bit more in his arms when he jumps compared to Super Mario 3D World. His hands go down to his sides, but that is very similar to Super Mario 64. And in Super Mario 3D World, Mario's jump was not a triple jump. So you can see he does a triple jump in Super Mario Switch, but not in Super Mario 3D World. The long jump though looks very, very similar, almost exactly the same. When Mario jumps, both his hands come back and his feet go forward, and he lands almost exactly the same animation as he does in Super Mario 3D World and Super Mario Switch. So there isn't that much difference in that regard, but when Mario stops and goes in Super Mario Switch, there is physics that he does when he slides. But in Super Mario 3D World, he simply just turns the direction and there's no physics involved. That might have something to do with the game being able to be controlled with a D-pad. It's a quick direction, he just turned immediately, there was no sliding going on or anything like that. It has something to do with the core mechanics of the game. So with Super Mario Switch, there's a little bit more sliding maybe going on and a little bit more physics going on with how Mario moves around in the world. And Super Mario Switch looks to be less of an enclosed area. So there might be something to that with the way Mario controls. And if you remember Super Mario Sunshine, Mario had a lot more sliding going on and movement going on when he jumped. So they could be going back similarly to Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario 64 in the way that Mario controls more open-ended and he's more affected by the world around him. Super Mario 3D World was more about platforming in singular levels that were very enclosed and you had a time limit. So it was a lot more like Super Mario 3D Land, where the game didn't allow you to explore because you simply didn't have time to do it. You had to get past these obstacles in the game and find all the little pieces along the way that you needed to for the secrets. So hopefully in Super Mario Switch, they take away that time limit and also have the game be more open-ended and add some new elements to it as well. But there is something interesting I wanted to point out, that the smoke and dust effects look to be almost exactly the same from the Wii U game from Super Mario 3D World for the Nintendo Switch. If you look at how the smoke animates and how the dust animates, it looks nearly identical. And Mario's character model looks nearly identical as well, besides having the added physics and the different shaders they're obviously using in the game to make it look more realistic. I know, realistic for a Mario game, but hey, yeah, it does look more realistic than Super Mario 3D World, which in turn gives the game a more solid look to it, with possibly the characters looking more dense. But from looking at a side-by-side comparison, it looks like the game might be running on an enhanced engine from Super Mario 3D World. Which would be nice if true, because I always wanted to see that engine they use in Super Mario 3D World to be more expansive and to have more detail in it, to see what you could do in the game, because I thought the game looked gorgeous in the first place. One of the best looking Wii U games that there was. Even though it was very simple in some respects, it was doing some really nice things on the screen and some nice effects in the game for the Wii U. So hopefully we'll see a lot more about Super Mario Switch in January, and about how it controls, what levels there are to explore in, how open-ended it really is. We've heard some rumors, of course, but we don't know for sure. Is there Yoshi in the game? Is there other characters you can be? We don't know yet for sure, but we're looking forward to see. Alright guys, well thank you so much for watching. That'll do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button, subscribe, and comment, and I'll talk to you very soon in the next video. Take care.